Welcome, guys. Welcome back. If you are a subscriber, we love you. If it's your first time, thank you. My name is Yao A. Owusu Jr. I am your resident vitality consultant. As you know, to my right, Mr. Dre Bivens Jr. To my left, the smooth Terminator, Nick Lopez Jr. We are the Vitality Handbook, and today we have a very special topic. That's why I gave you that intro. We're going back to that mindset pillar. That is number one. We're going to take a little bit different twist. We did preparation, we did awareness. Now we're talking about discipline. How do you stay disciplined? I'm mainly going to kick it off, and we're going to talk about if you're in a very high stress situation. Now, I'm about to have a baby. Yes, I'm going to be a baby's father. Thank you. But that's very stressed, right? Losing a job, changing a job, COVID, we all had to change our job. I know you guys are going to go in on that. But how do you stay mentally disciplined when you're in a very high stressful situation? You can't avoid high stressful situations, so you're going to have to adapt. So for me, I'll start off with that. I think adaptation is going to be key. How well can you adapt to high stress, whether it's job, whether it's relationship? For me, it's going to have a baby. How do we do that, right? So I'm going to kick it off first with Mr. Nicholas Lopez Jr. I want to hear you guys really go in about that mindset pillar pertaining to high stressful situations. How do we stay disciplined? How do we get that discipline?
That was a good answer. I would answer with adaptability. But I want to go into productivity. I think in those moments, you would have to redefine what productivity means to you. Okay. I was having a conversation with a client 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, basically was coming back. So we were taking them through the onboarding process and having a consultation. And basically he brought up how things can't be perfect. Okay. And or you can't do everything well. If you're handling 10 different things, so it's a high stress moment. Okay. Maybe you're handling new things that you've never handled before, so you're handling a lot. He was like, you can't do all those things well. And I said, well, it depends on how you define well. Okay. Right, so when you're saying as far as how does this apply to discipline during high stress periods, right. I think redefining certain things for yourself and redefining productivity. What does productivity mean to you? And I think you can have, we could go anywhere from that, but I think you would have to have that conversation with, like, what does productivity mean now during this new high stress period? I got to redefine it.
I love that when you say productivity. So how well are you producing, right? So if you're having productivity, right, you're producing something. Do you see what I'm saying? So how well do you produce under high stressful situations? How well can you execute? I call him the Terminator jokingly, but the Terminator executes. That's why I call him that, because he is about execution. And I know this guy right here is a prolific creator, so he is about execution, right? So I love that. Dre, when we're talking about high stressful situations, how do you stay disciplined? I know you got something for me. Because when we're talking about, before you go in, when we're talking about discipline, right? This guy does boxing, powerlifting, has a beautiful baby, coming from New Jersey. We're in Manhattan right now. How do you stay disciplined to continue to work? Check us out, Athletic Artillery, and our documentary on RHM. We've been shooting constantly. This is not to show off. This is just showing you our high level of productivity throughout COVID, which was very bad for our industry. How were we able to shoot nonstop? We have not stopped once. So I know you have something for me. How are you? No, you're not avoiding it. How do you stay so disciplined mentally?
Never satisfied.
I knew he was. Ding. I knew. Come on.
Never satisfied. Also, too, wanting to be great. Mm. Wanting to be great, trying to achieve greatness, whatever it is, you have to keep on pushing. So I think for me, and also too, being in competition with yourself as well.
You taking on? Okay. He's taking on my point. Being in competition with yourself, never settling, and want to be great. I mean, that's pretty much never settle. Zoom in, never settle. Yeah.
I definitely will go with that. And also too, you know, I know people watching as well. You know,
I get what you're saying.
but mostly it's like, you know, for my kids to see that as well. You know, so they see like, damn, daddy, they might not know it now, but eventually as they get older,
Legacy.
Legacy.
Dynasty.
So that's why we also too, it was important that we recorded the RHM. It was very important for them, right?
And you've heard us say RHM, Restorative Human Movement.
Yes.
Dre shot us all last year through COVID last summer. We did that within, what, 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
How many weeks?
How many? Well, he's a Terminator. He can tell us.
Damn.
Honestly, I can't answer that
From
because
May to September.
yeah, I can't.
I can't answer that because I had to forget about what time meant to seriously, I was like, whatever time means to like conventional society, I got to turn that like time only means. I'm thinking about time and like high performance, performance science only. I don't know.
Which is different. It's different.
I mean, I would say that's the definition of multidimensional. When we say this, right, this is all about your mindset and how you deal with stressful situations. When we say adaptation, do you know what that means? Productivity, be able to produce, do you know what that means? We're talking about never settle, not be satisfied, not be like, okay, you want to jump for the next thing, always trying things. You have a goal and you're not going to stop until you achieve that goal, right? You're not going to stop until you achieve that goal. There's no such thing as quitting. You might take a break, but you got to come back.
Yes.
There's no such thing as failing, because if you fall down, you're going to keep on coming back. So when you have that in you, this is what we're talking about, mindset. Now, this is a very, very serious subject. Usually I'm all over the place and animated. I'll get there when we get to our wind down and our straight shooter, when we get to that quick rapid fire. But right now, this is very serious. Like, people out there struggling. And this pillar means a lot to me when it comes to mindset, because there's very stressful situations and you might feel like you're alone. But you have to understand that you're not alone, because watching this channel, this YouTube channel, teaching you the essence of being vital, it has to start with your mindset. And this is where I want to take the conversation now. So we talked about how do you how do you manage high stressful situations, productivity, never settling, always wanting more, striving for greatness. These are all hot topics. Now let's talk about the health of your mind, right? If you don't have a healthy mind state to get a healthy mindset, people call it mental health issues. You can call it whatever you want. We don't have to get into that. But if you have health issues and your mind is unhealthy, then you tell me what that means, right? So that's where I want to get to. How do we get out of an unhealthy mindset, right? If someone wants to be disciplined, but they cannot do it, they feel like they cannot, they have limitations on this by themselves. How do we get someone out of an unhealthy mindset? And I would say what I would do was, V.T.S, Vitality Training Systems, apply it. If your mindset is low, you have 4 other pillars that you can apply. Apply your sleep pillar, right? Are you taking your sleep seriously? Apply your nutrition, right? Apply your recovery. All those things, apply exercise. All those things will help maximize discipline of the mindset. If your mind is not there and you're struggling, you're stressed out, don't stop, don't quit. Don't listen to the naysayers. Actually work on the other pillars, and by default, that continuum, that circle of vitality will be complete, right? Sleep, mindset, nutrition, recovery, and exercise. If your mindset pillar is low, attack the other ones. So that'd be my contribution to this conversation when we're talking about the mindset. Now, if you have someone, it doesn't have to be you, doesn't have to be a client, but give us an example. If someone has a very unhealthy mindset, how would you get them to increase their productivity, their mindset, their mind state?
Yeah, it depends. Number one, I like your application answer. I'm gonna build on top of that. I think as far as if someone's unhealthy, number one, just doing the due diligence. I'm the Terminator. I gotta make sure that person doesn't need professional help, because it could get there. Because they could have already been, who knows? Yeah. But they could also have like a different, like they could be prescribed medicine, and that's a whole different conversation. If someone's coming to you on prescription for mental health issues, that's a whole different beast. So make sure you have, and that's why at PVS we are building a team with specialists like sports psychologists, because you do need to have that conversation. It's okay, like, have that conversation. Don't be scared. You're gonna have to do more reading on your own to have that conversation with that person, or education, but education never ends. For your application question, I want to build on top of that. The answer that I would apply would basically be accountability. Realizing that
Self-accountability or having someone else you hire?
Basically, so if I'm dealing with someone who's, let's say, being cleared, all right, they're coming in, it's not severe, right. It's not chronic, it's just, I don't believe in myself. Okay. And their conversation, their body language is all about, I don't believe in myself. Then the first thing would be to apply what you said, right? Help build self-belief or mental strength through that V.T.S system. But on top of that, build a layer of accountability. I'm learning that from the coaching lens and from the application lens, like, people actually need, accountability is actually very powerful. So I actually wanted to ask you guys, I don't know where this is going to go, but I wanted to ask that, and you can, I don't know whether you want to hit Dre up first with that question, but basically.
Accountability, when we're talking about discipline, if someone has the accountability factor, you believe that that would help their discipline.
Yeah, now to build on top of the conversation, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think the relationship between accountability and discipline is?
I love that. I mean, I think that if you have, and in two ways, right? Obviously at PVS, we believe in accountability. You can hire us as coaches to hold you accountable to a programming, right? So if you want to change your mindset, I think having an accountability to a program will keep you accountable, because now you have a goal and we apply a program to that goal and you have to stick to it. If you miss a week, we're going to say you missed a week. We're going to train your behavior to now you have your own self be accountable, because now you missed a week, you don't feel good. You're not sleeping well, right? You're not eating well. So I would say the direct correlation of accountability is either you hire someone, a coach, a therapist, someone that's going to keep you accountable to meet these marks, to have a mantra, to have these sayings, positive affirmation. There's so many things out there that can keep you accountable, but it all comes down to that accountability will help with discipline, right? So if someone's helping you, yes.
I would go, so with the discipline aspect, I would say, like you said, it would aid in that, but discipline, if you have discipline, you really don't have to tell that person to do it. That's discipline. You don't have to tell them to do something. They're going to do it on their own, right? So I'll say that's discipline. Accountability, like you said before, hire someone, it aids, it helps helping their, like you said before, I would just leave it there, but I think you wrapped it up, but I would say it would aid into the discipline. But if someone is disciplined, you really don't have to tell them. You don't have to stay on top of them too much or do a program from them. But it's certain little things that people are disciplined in.
I think, I mean, I like that. And again, if you have that discipline already still inside of you, right, then obviously you're not going to need someone. But for those people out there that are lacking discipline.
Yeah, the question was like they have an unhealthy
mindset. Yes.
I would say, I'm giving an example of more, like do something that you love and like you're great at.
Okay.
Right? I would say do that. Like that can help with self-belief.
Okay.
Right? So if you're trying to do something that you're not good at or not great at, I'm a failure. I'm just do something that you love.
Okay. I like that.
Help build up that self-belief.
So by building up someone's self-belief, by giving them confidence, because you're giving them a task that you know that they can do well in, that will help build their confidence, belief, and then they're going to keep doing it, and that will build discipline. That's actually a perfect way. I like how you answer that, because if you don't have that discipline, if you build self-belief, you can get that. If you don't have discipline and you build self-awareness, you have a purpose, then you can build that. So I love that. Okay. So now we're going to get to my favorite portion of our episode. We're going to talk about rapid fire, right? So now we're talking about you and the community out there, right? So if you guys follow us, you know that we always have this section. We kind of break it down. We're going to ask them a quick question that's going to help you out there. What can you leave this channel with, right? Mindset, focusing on what we said in the topic in the beginning. If you have a very stressful situation you're in, which most of us will be in life, If you try and be a high achiever, you're going to meet some resistance. You're going to have some type of stressful situation to get to that next level. If you're going to level up, you're going to have to break a barrier. You're going to have to go into a different dimension. You're going to have to go into a different gear to get there. So what I want is, give me something that you've experienced, right? We're going to do a little different. I want something that's coming from you, that you've experienced, that you were at a certain level and you needed to apply discipline to get to that another level. I want you guys to paint me a picture. Give me a story of something you've done, whether it's powerlifting, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's child, whether it's relationship, whether it's business, whether it's business school. Congratulations to Mr. Nicholas Lopez Jr. Just graduated. Now I have 100% Terminator. He's only been at 60%. 60%. If you follow us, watch the other videos. All right? He's doing the production. I'm just talking. He's doing the production. He's doing the shooting. So he's at 100% now. So give the audience out there, talk to them, give us something you've experienced, whether it's for yourself, a client, or something like that. But you have to break that level, and it was specifically discipline of your mindset that helped you break that level. Too many examples. He has too many examples.
I'm trying to think of the cornerstone. I'm trying to think of the catalyst. Because once that gear turned on, it never turned off.
So what was that experience? School? I know school was one of them. You might not want to say it, but I know school was one of them. You want to give another example. School was definitely one of them.
I think it's important to have these type of conversations for, like, I'm trying to go deep.
No, you go with your experience, like your experience. I want them because I want the audience to know that your experience.
I'm thinking deep.
I'm trying to think about how to word it. So this is a conversation we could have. You could edit it, right? Because you're OG. But basically, I'm thinking of that moment. I remember in the crib where there would be roaches, like 50 roaches on the sink. The roaches would be everywhere, and that, sometimes there wasn't water, sometimes there wasn't a light. So whatever that situation, I remember that was the environment where I was like, okay. I remember looking at the clock, and I remember having to go to the gym. I remember that was a moment where I think, you know what it was? It was being in that environment, plus having just done a year with Dre, when I think we stopped training for a whole year. And the first time I had to do it myself. Once I realized that maybe someone believed in me and gave me the blueprint.
So Dre, meaning this gentleman right here, trained you for a year.
Yeah, and then before that, I was smoking cigarettes, drinking Henny out the bottle.
This is what I want to hear. This is the experience I want to hear. This is raw.
Yeah, I was
this guy was doing that.
I was on the
You see how together it is? So you never think that, I can't do it. This guy.
So I met Dre in that moment. I was still going through it was just a stressful, dysfunctional adaptation to that traumatic, violent environment I was in. So, which happens a lot, right? So I still had that, I still was adapting just in a dysfunctional way. So I met Dre. He gave me some powerful tools that when it...
Those tools? Was it exercise? What did you have to be disciplined with to get out of that situation?
So with Dre, that basically was, you can't stop.
You can't stop. What does that mean?
Like you cannot, like nothing, but...
That's like a mantra that he gave you in your head, like you can't stop.
Yeah. That was like nothing, this is my route to getting out my situation, or even just bigger than that. Right. And it was like, no matter what is going on, like nothing can take you away from the mission. So it was like that laser vision.
Now, was that exercise? Was that nutrition?
It was actually conversation. It was like, yeah, we had other things going on, other pillars that were improving, but really it was a mindset pillar through the conversation. So the first time
he was okay. Now we're getting similar. So he instilled basically the mindset pillar of you can't stop. Like you said in the demonstration earlier, rewind it, never settle. So you've been preaching this message for a long time. And that's one message that you took and that stuck with you and that gave you the discipline to continue to keep going.
Yeah, I remember the first time I had to do it myself after we stopped. For some reason, I think I had to train for myself by my crib instead of going all the way to the Y in Harlem, 135th. After work.
I made a transition
Right.
to
Okay.
That's when I made a transition to
Another facility?
to another facility.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, to another facility.
Mhm.
And it was more okay. Listen, stay in shape. Do what you got to do. I'm gonna take care of this. Once I get my foot in the door, I'm gonna be here for a couple weeks,
Right.
whatever it takes. Boom, penetrate my
Right.
girl hate when I say penetrate.
Hey, but when the word applies,
exactly.
when you got to penetrate sometimes, man.
So once I get my foot in the door, both feet penetrate, and then and then basically I give you the alley.
Okay.
So that's basically what that was.
Yeah, I mean, when that penetration happened, when he got his 2 feet in the door, he instilled that discipline to Nicholas, and Nicholas used that mindset pillar of staying disciplined, that mantra. So I love that.
More than just staying disciplined, though. It's just like I will not lose.
Yeah, but that's discipline.
Yeah,
That is the definition.
You could be. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking of separation. The military, growing up in a military environment, was some form of discipline, but it's not the same as. It's not the same as having that self-belief to say.
Yeah, it changed you.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's different. It's not just discipline. Because discipline, people will call military people discipline.
But that's different. So you're making your own definition of what this. What we have to say is, what does discipline mean? What is your definition of actually discipline?
So that's what I mean about. So when I said before, discipline. No one have to tell you wake up, do this, or do that. Like you're doing it on your own.
Right.
That's discipline.
So self-discipline, military is someone telling you to do it. What you're saying is Dre instilled that in you, and you had self-discipline where you did it yourself. That's a huge distinction. When we're talking about accountability, like I said, there's 2 ways. You can have a coach that you hire to keep you accountable, to get that discipline, or you can have a real instructor that's going to help unlock the discipline within you. I love that. Okay, Dre, we're going to you. Give me an experience, my brother. All right? Yoda.
Okay, I got a million.
The alien.
I got a million. I'm gonna say some for the book.
Okay.
Hopefully one day we get a chance.
Now, hopefully it's coming.
It's coming. But I'm gonna go with when I quit my 9-to-5 job. Oh my God, that was. Whew.
What do you think?
Man, I quit my 9-to-5.
What
job.
drove you to quit, though?
So I was doing wake up 4:30 a.m. Go from 6 to 9 a.m. Leave, go to work at 9:30 to 6:30.
At a different job.
At a different job, and then I would go back from 7 p.m. or 6:45. Sprint. Yeah, let's go, class. All that stuff. From 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then train, do my bodybuilding work from 9 to 11 p.m. and then go home and repeat that for 8 months.
So that's, first of all, that is insane, literally. I mean, you have to be. So what I'm hearing from you guys here, with your example of discipline, and with your example of coming out of your environment, you have to be a very disciplined person, right? You don't have to be Jay-Z or J. Cole where everyone knows how disciplined you are. We have people that are actually superhuman here. All right, you look how they look, they're superhuman. Literally, if you have an average human and you're above average and you're well above average, that means you're super. So they're superhuman. We're not saying they're superheroes, but they're superhuman. You have to have that discipline. So where I'm going to take this is you can have a natural discipline, whether your environment shaped you and you built, or if you could not adapt to that environment, because you guys are very adaptive organisms. You came from something that most people cannot come out of. You had that self-discipline. Now I'm talking to you guys out there that don't believe you have self-discipline. You have it, you just don't believe. You have to first be aware. Once you have that awareness comes with knowing what your purpose is. Watch our other video. There's a video we talked about having purpose.
Episode 1.
Yes, about purpose. How do you find your purpose? I gave that example. If you don't remember,
That's episode
go
2.
watch it. Go watch it. The Terminator always has me. Go watch episode 2. First, you have to have that self-awareness. Once you're aware of yourself, right? You knew who you were in the environment, you knew where you wanted to go. Then you have the belief. He believed in you, you started believing in yourself. You had that belief and grind. It was instilled in you. That's why you call him an alien, okay? Extraterrestrial. right? Wizard, Terminator, alien, okay? Right? So you have that awareness, you have your purpose, then you have that self-belief. Then you build a discipline. People have it mistaken that you cannot get discipline. You can. Some people naturally have it, but you can get it built. And that's why I wanted to leave with you today.
Oh, you got to answer. You didn't answer this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to answer it right now. That's what I want to leave with you today. So we're talking about having that self-awareness. We're having that self-belief to get that self-discipline. My experience is coming from DC to Los Angeles. All right? I sold everything I had 2 bags, and that's it. Came there, no job, no community, no network. Built my network through Peak Fit Services. Build a network. I was carrying a projector screen, a backpack, start training clients at 5 o'clock. Finished, went to this company, big company, I won't name their name. Went to that company, taught classes there for 2 hours, then went back to work. Then I started teaching my own classes. So that's a good 12-hour day.
16 probably.
16 with prep work, me actually working out as well. So yeah, probably a 16-hour day. Now I built that out of necessity. I had to adapt. Then making that jump here to New York will probably be my biggest adaptation. Me getting into some legal issues, I'm not afraid to say it, right? It wasn't that I did something illegal. It was a company, again, I'm not going to name any names, that wanted something from me, my IP. He's taught me what that meant. And when I knew that my whole career was on the line, I had to make that jump. And that discipline of sticking to it, a lot of people would have quit. You guys are seeing me now, but I've been in industry for 15 years. Go to your IG account and look up your favorite fitness person. They took my class. Now I digress. Now that's where that discipline comes from. Now the world is going to see what we can do. So my experience is from DC to Los Angeles, now to New York. Okay, guys, I know you guys are waiting for this. We're going to talk about our wind down. Now, the wind down section is where we humanize it. We talk directly to you and we give you nuggets or gems, all right, on how we can do what. We want to stay disciplined with your mindset. Now, stressful situation, non-stressful situation, training, I don't care where you guys go. Let's just humanize it, meaning bring it down to a level where everyone can kind of take something with them after we have this conversation. I'm going to Nicholas Lopez Jr. first, then I'm going to Andre Bibbins Jr.
Thank you, Yao Owusu Jr. I'm gonna start with quick strip down, have a mantra. So basically, this is an extension to your juju ritual.
You gonna tell them about juju?
You gotta find out. You gotta find out for yourself. But basically, it's a mantra. It's basically, I don't know what the official where mantra comes from, but it's basically, that's the intention, that's the vibe, that's the energy. You gotta have those empowering mantras during those times where those dark times where you're gonna have to have a one-liner.
Can you break that down for me, just in case someone doesn't know what mantra is?
Something simple as, for example, one that I have recently is.
Okay, so I have one that I'm using recently I'm using 2 recently, or more often. One of them is, I am my own sense of security, and the second one is, all the answers are within.
Say it again. Love it again.
So during like those moments of like just pressure, high pressure, pressure cooker.
Say it again. Those 2. What were those 2 again? 2 mantras.
I am my own sense of security,
I am my own sense of security.
and all the answers are within.
So it's self-sovereignty. The solution has to come within. Those are your mantras. Okay. Okay. I like that. Okay. Bibbins. Junior.
I tell myself I thrive under pressure. Like that's why honestly, I am my best under pressure. I'm my best under pressure. I answer to pressure. Like, it's something weird.
Pressure makes diamonds, though. That's what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Come on,
It's something weird. And I just tell myself, either you've been through this before, it's just gonna pass, or it's like, don't panic. It's like it's temporary.
I love it.
Am I dying?
I love it.
I'm not gonna die.
I love it. Ooh, I love it.
It'll pass.
I love it.
It'll pass. You'll be stressed out for a little while, but it will eventually pass, and you'll forget all about it. And then when it comes to your head, you're like, oh damn, and you go, oh that wasn't nothing.
And you kind of build that, and you build it, and you build it. So, love it. So pressure, he works good under that. That's how you know that you're an executor. You're a prolific creator when you can kind of do your best when the pressure is high. Mantras, I use mantras too, and I love it. Like I love it. I'm buying everything you guys are selling. For me, in that discipline, listen, man, control what you can control. That's it. If I'm in a situation that's very stressful and I even think about I can't adapt to this stress, can I control it? If I can't control, well, there's literally nothing I can do about it. Then there's no reason for me to even fret. It's just make my environment the best I can be, and then I should be able to take that pressure and adapt. I should be able to have my, like Nick said, juju. There are some things, some rituals that I do. I'm from Ghana, right? Don't be afraid of juju. Don't be afraid of juju or voodoo. Because listen, don't. You see him. Don't be afraid of this because people say witchcraft. People call me the wizard. It's not witchcraft. It's science, right? Back in the day in Europe, they used to burn people at the stake, right? They used to burn people at the stake because they say what would they say back in the day? They would call them witches and wizards, but it was just science. It was just science. They were the illuminated ones. So if you're illuminated enough to understand that you can control only what you can control, there's no reason for you to fear, right? You should know danger. There's a danger zone. I feel pressure. There's a percentage that something bad could happen, but there's no reason for me to fear it. So I have that mindset of if there's pressure coming, can I control that? If I can control it, I'm going to apply and do something. I might apply mantras, right? But having that mindset of self-sovereignty, I understand that I am in control. No one's coming to save me. Like Nick said, no one's coming to save you. You are in control. If you can control what you control, and that's basically it.
One question for you, fellas. I know we want to wrap up, but on theme to society, it's the end of Mental Health Month. Oh my bad. Let me put this away then. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay. All right. So, in light of Mental Health Month being in May and May coming to an end, I want to ask you guys, like, what's your message for, like, okay, it's cool, mental health is a month, cool, like it's about to come to an end. Like, what would you hope someone got out of this month if this month brings even more attention to mental health?
Yeah, I think that you should be paying attention to your mental health every month, right? Just like I don't believe in Black History Month. I think that everyone should celebrate every single month, right? I don't give my wife flowers only on her birthday. You don't even celebrate all the time. So that would be my broad answer, but my more micro-focused answer would be, first, know yourself. Now, you might have to seek a professional. You might really need professional help. And I would say, go to a therapist to get a checkup. It's like you go to a doctor. You don't say, oh, I'm too big for a therapist, it's mental health. Take advantage. Some therapists will give you a free consultation, and they'll just evaluate and tell you what you need. You have this, you're depressed because of this, or we're digging deep. You see what I'm saying? So go see a professional if you cannot, right? At least look up, Google, YouTube, right? What we're on right now, listen to what we're saying, listen to other people that you actually find respect. And I would say that's what we'll leave you with on my end. Mental Health Month, to me, it should be every single month, every week, you should be having a mental health checkup. Either you're checking yourself, am I stressed out from things that I can control, right? And if you can't do that, you don't have that discipline, that awareness, that self-belief, hire a professional.
Me and Nick spoke about it. It was funny, but I definitely think that you should have someone that you can go to. Someone that you go to, like you probably go to your brother,
right,
your cousin,
right,
someone that you know you can speak to and they're not going to let out that information. But you can speak to them and talk to them.
Confident.
Yeah, so I would say definitely is important. It's like, I guess, hiring a therapist.
Right.
But it's a different type of connection, right, that you have with that person versus you just hire someone that you don't know or don't understand. You don't understand your background, don't understand where you come from. Nothing at all.
Yes.
Right? say that. I will leave it off there. Yeah. So that's good for mental health for sure.
So
At the end of Mental Health Month, you would want someone to at least have built a relationship with someone they could confide in if they didn't have that.
Yeah, or if they didn't have that, yes,
Yeah.
they can definitely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that everyone has someone out there, but they haven't been going to it, right? Because what it is the information out there is now. It's like, oh, go seek a therapist, go seek this. How about let's just do it the old. You can if you want to.
Yeah.
Can if you want to, but I think everyone should have that friend, cousin, mother, brother, whoever it is, right? I don't know. You might like talking to strangers. Who knows?
So you can build relationships, like you said, even if you don't have the family member, even if you're by yourself and you have no family at all, building relationships so you have a confidant. So it's very important that, we don't want to live this life by ourselves, right? You're alive, but that doesn't mean you're actually living,
Yes.
right? Are you living life, or are you just walking through life like a zombie?
I think a lot of times, just holding stuff in can really
Tear you apart.
A lot of people.
Tear you apart.
A lot of people. There's only a small percentage that actually can hold a lot of stuff in, and they able to just move on with their day and keep on trucking.
But are they thriving, like you said, or are they just
That too.
surviving?
Yeah.
Are they actually thriving?
They're actually thriving.
They can take that pressure, but are they actually thriving, like you said? Your answer was you wanted to thrive. Perfect. Guys, thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and comment. We want to hear from the community what you guys think, how we can improve, and what conversation do you want to hear next. That's where we're going to go. What do you guys want? As always, remember, strive to be better than you were yesterday. Always, you have the choice to either heal or destroy your body. With your mindset, we hope you choose wisely. Let's get into it.